Hello, sir.
Hey, hey.
It's working now.
Yeah, that I think I sent the wrong link by accident. I was so tired I wasn't even paying attention.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's already recording, so everybody's gonna know about this one.
I've actually seen you do that in some of the other podcasts you're recording and at the very beginning.
Yeah, yeah, I usually do that. I just go on and start recording and then go from there. So
That's
yeah, I'm
awesome.
glad you noticed that. Glad you noticed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, since you already know that, we're gonna go ahead and get on started with this bad boy.
that sounds good. Real quick question though, where are you calling?
Sure.
Where are we connecting from?
I am. Are you talking about city state location wise?
Yeah, where are you located? Yeah.
I am located in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, okay. That's a beautiful place. Not too far
Yeah,
away. We're south. I'm south of Atlanta.
yeah. I was going to say I seen you as in near Atlanta, Georgia, somewhere.
Yeah,
Cool, cool. So yeah, that's cool to know. So I seen some things about you. So, and I was very inspired. Firstly, I appreciate you coming on. It's a real honor for you to come on and talk to me about this. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself and where you at right now.
that sounds good. Yeah, Scott Lackey and website scottlackey.com if you want to go and learn more about some of the things that I talk about. And I think after Darrell and I finish today, I think people are going to want to learn more about both of us. But
Absolutely.
I'm genuinely thankful to be here. I appreciate you letting me be on your platform and speak to your audience. And I think that means a lot. I think, before we get off into a discussion, there's too much talking going on in the world, not enough conversations. And so I'm glad we're having this conversation today, man.
Me too. You said it. You pinpoint that. It's just a lot of loud noise and not enough talk conversation. So yes, I absolutely agree with that. So continuing to talk about you recently uh published a book that I learned. Is that right?
Yes, last Thursday, as a matter of fact, and it has
Congratulations.
exploded. Thank you. Yeah, it's exploded.
Yeah, no doubt. Give us a little snippet of your book. Let's talk about a little bit.
I would love to do that. And I actually have my author proof sitting here next to me.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, the best description I could give you is read the first two paragraphs of the preface, if I may.
Have at it.
All right, the title of the book is Wake Up to Die Again. I've learned that things we survive don't define us. What we do with them does. I've bled, fallen, failed, been betrayed, and risen more times than I can count. But I've stopped hiding the evidence. My scars aren't reminder of what broke me. They're proof of what couldn't. They're the handwriting of grace etched across skin and soul, a quiet testimony that what tried to kill me failed. Failure isn't the ending, it's the beginning. This book is for every man and woman trying to stand, still standing, still believing there is more to their story. Don't hide your scars. They're proof you were meant to live and live like never before. And if you're ready to turn the page in your life, let's walk into the rest of the story together.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Cause and the amazing thing about you that I've looked at your website and I've actually literally checked it out. I've seen some of the books that you've written and you previously just released one. And you also talked about how you fail, rebuild, fail, rebuild. Now, this is the part right here that a lot of people don't talk about because when we hear the word failure or any other different word besides failure that is related to failure, everybody just quit.
Shuts down.
So, exactly. And I would like for you, in your perspective, in your experience, what is it about you, Scott Lackey, that you kept building? You failed, and then you risen yourself back up. What is it that took you into that stage of actually like, okay, I can't give up. I'm going to keep doing this. What took you to that stage?
Well, we we have a short podcast to answer that question.
I mean, hey
And
man, you could go at
no,
it,
I,
man.
I say that, I'm just being honest and transparent is
Yeah,
I want to give the listeners a short answer
sure.
and there's so let me give you some basics, okay? Because it really I don't want to say it was any one thing. I think that would be unfair to the listeners. It would be untrue. But let me give you a few examples,
Okay,
okay?
sure.
First and foremost, and this wasn't this way my entire life, Darrell, okay?
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, what I realized for me
Hmm.
is that every time I ended up in a dark room
Yeah.
where I couldn't find the light switch
Yeah.
or at the bottom of a hole, a very
Hmm.
deep one,
Yeah.
God was there when I got there. He wasn't chasing me, wasn't running after me. He was already there when I got there. I can't stress that enough because lightning's going to strike in all of our lives.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to make a decision when lightning strikes of who are we and who are we becoming. And if you choose unwisely, the lightning's not going to give you up. If you choose wisely, it's going to be a difficult road restoring yourself. I don't want to say rebuilding.
Right.
It's going to be a
Right.
difficult road to restore yourself,
Hmm.
but you will learn that the answers that you were always looking for were inside you, not in some place or thing. It's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I'll say is there was it's coming to mind a particular time in my life where things were so bad that I felt my or found myself laying face down on the carpet and I did not know what to do or what to say. And it's interesting how God will use things or voices or names sometimes to intervene in your life.
Hmm.
And at that particular moment, my mom had passed away. Actually, both of my parents had passed away. And at that particular moment, God used my mom's voice to get my attention. And all he did was when I was laying there and literally lost in my own house, is he had my mom's voice say to me, Scott, I'm going to need you to get up. And I said, okay, I'm going to get up. Scott, I'm going to need you to get up right now. And I did. I got up. And that was a low point that I didn't return to. But I never forgot hearing her voice in my head saying, I'm going to need you to get up. Now I'm going to tie that into the final part of the answer. Okay. God in the beginning, the spirit, if you will, talking to us. And the third thing I would say, if people are desperate right now, dealing with failure or some crisis in their life, or a lightning strike, or you just can't move forward because of something that's happened in your past and you can't forgive yourself, whatever it is. Okay, I'll move to this third part. And the third part, I didn't discover again. I've always loved my wife and my son and daughter, but there were many times in my life where things were not where I thought they were supposed to be by any stretch of the imagination. And I looked across at the room at those three people, and I just thought to myself, you know, no matter what happens, I'm going to get up again because I love them. That's what I'm going to do. And just looking at them because it was nothing was their fault. And I wanted to make sure that every day that I woke up, whatever I was doing, whether I spoke it or didn't speak it, that I got up every day and was fighting the good fight, and I did it for them. And later on, I eventually was willing to include myself in that, but not in the
Yeah,
beginning. In the beginning, what got me up was making sure I took care of them. I hope all
hmm
that makes sense.
it do 100% because it's amazing that you literally speak into existence. You're literally speaking as a whole. Like people don't even recognize, different signs of when God is in action or God's calling you. Nobody pays attention to that. They either want instant answers or they want something besides God or eliminating
Oh yeah,
God.
100%.
They do. And that's what they do. They'll actually literally ignore it until they really get stuck again and they really don't have answers.
The same
And that's
story is all over the Bible. This isn't new.
exactly.
This has been going on since the beginning of time. Is that everybody
Yes.
wants to be in charge until they find out they're not in charge. And then they go to the person who is in charge and says, "Get me out of this mess.
Mhm.
I'll do anything." I said
I
that.
didn't. I didn't either. So I understand. I understand because I was the same way. Because when I was younger, I struggled through all of that, man. I struggled through all that. Like I've been through the betrayal, I've
Yep.
been through, disrespect. I've been through all of those things to where I literally did not have answers.
Yeah.
None. And I was stuck. Okay.
Yep.
I understand where that comes from because we are in a society that we touched up just a few minutes ago on how there are so many people talking, but they're not talking about the right things, right? We're not
Not
talking
having a
about,
conversation. Yeah.
no, we're not having these conversations where, okay, we need to be upfront
Yeah.
about everything that we're being bothered with. We're not
Yeah.
being upfront about how we're going to be honest with ourselves, right? We are literally in this stage that you just said it, that we're going to be in charge. We're going to do this until we realize we're not in charge. I'm not in
Yep.
charge. And then you
Nope.
have to call on the man to, that's in charge. You have to call
Yep.
on him. So
Yep.
I understand that struggle. That's why it's like
It's a
refreshing.
powerful, it's a, yeah, okay. Thank you. I was about to say, this is a powerful discussion when you have two men that
Yes.
recognize that. Yeah.
Yes. And I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And for you to come on here and literally speak
Open up with that.
into, yes, speak into that, man. Bring your space in there, man. You literally like, let's say you really put a punch into this, and it was like, oh, that hurts. But guess what? It's the truth, right?
Yeah.
All it is,
Well,
you're speaking the truth. That's all
yeah.
it is.
Well, if you don't have to be alive for very long to know that
No.
the truth has weight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The truth has weight. And I love how you describe this because let me just say this. Uh, I am in a place and have been for many, many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And this was hard earned, but I'm in a place where the trappings of the world that I chased for so long, right? And what I mean by the trappings of the world, I mean, for a
Mm-hmm.
long, long time, I wanted to have the right suit. I wanted to have the right car. Never had the right car, but I thought, I wanted the right car, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah. Wanted to have the nice home, had some nice homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of these things. There are certain people that I wanted to say almost anything, sometimes lie to make sure they liked me,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Made up some stories so that they thought I was important too. Okay.
That, that right there, right
Yeah.
there, man.
Yeah. Made up some stories just so they thought I was important. And then fast forward, Darrell, and again, this didn't happen. I can't say on September the 12th. No, 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 no. I don't know exactly when this happened, but I can tell you that after enough years, Darrell, I began to ask myself, I began to look inside, right? Because it didn't matter what distance I traveled, it didn't matter what possession I gained, what relationship I gained, what lie I told. It didn't matter because every time I arrived or thought I arrived, somebody was there to tell me you didn't go far enough. You didn't do enough. It's a little further. Do a little more. You need a little more. Anyway, eventually I started looking at myself and I was like, wait a minute for just a second. I keep running, I keep hustling, I keep doing all this stuff. And every time I get to where I think I'm supposed to be, I'm just a little bit more empty and I don't know where the hell I'm going.
Right.
So one day I started asking myself, hey man, what is it inside you? Where is this hole where you need somebody else or something else to fill in order for you to have happiness, peace, joy, love, kindness? Where is it? Been doing this for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And so, so Darrell, all of this stuff we're talking about, it points back to the hard questions that we have to ask ourselves. And one of them is, if you can identify what is it inside you that is not being fulfilled, but you're trying to use the outside world to fill, which it isn't going to happen. If you can find that place and fix that place, man, the world doesn't have any power over you anymore. Because you can dangle a lot of things in front of me right now. Hey, Scott, you're an Iron Man. I don't care. Hey, Scott, you're a columnist in the newspaper. Aren't you proud of that? No, not really. I'm thankful for it. Not proud of it. It changes everything, Darrell. It doesn't. Hey, Scott, what about this new car? Yeah, you can keep it. I'm fine with mine. It's paid for. I don't care. You know, that's where I wish more people would get. I wish more people would get to that place where all of this stuff, all these shiny things around them no longer have power over them because they are fulfilled inside, right? Their belief in themselves, they've reconciled the things inside, the deficits inside. Anyway, I don't mean to ramble here, but I just think,
No, you're
for,
good.
yeah, for the yeah
You are literally hitting it.
for okay yeah for the listening audience is the more you're willing to wrestle with yourself, the more the world will bend the knee to you. It's
Yeah.
not the other way around. You go wrestle with the world, they're going to suck you into a black hole you ain't getting out of. You're going to be empty. You're going to wake up and you're going to be 42 years old and you're going to stare in the mirror and you're like, how the hell did I get here? What happened? Maybe you're 33. I don't know. Maybe you're 56. But at some point in time, if you don't get control of yourself and know who you are and what drives you and what weaknesses you have and what strengths you have, if you don't get that mastered, you're going to wake up one day looking in the mirror where you may be flat on your face like I was. And you're going to be asking the question, how did I get here? And then the scary part of when you get there is you're so far away from where you started, you can't
Mhm.
find your way back. You're lost.
Nope.
And you're
Straight up.
too far away from where you thought you were going to be. Now you don't know where to go. And that's a
You're
scary
preaching.
place to be.
You're preaching. Straight up. Speaking the truth. I'm gonna tell you something because you touched up on something about facing yourself. And for me, the hardest thing about myself when I was literally coming up was
Mm,
actually looking at myself in the mirror. All right. It was hard because I have done so much that bad things, okay, literally bad
mm,
things. I was doing
sure.
so many bad things that, you know, I couldn't hold myself accountable to. I was a
Yeah,
coward. I'll put it like that. I was a
sure.
coward, right? So one day I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself, and the first thing I did was this. You're still here. Do something with yourself, man. Just do something with yourself. Like, you ain't got to have it figured out. Just do something, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Because if you're going to keep putting yourself backwards, you're not going to move any much forward with that type of attitude. I was very temperament. I had very bad temper issues. And those temperament issues led me to, you know, darkness of,
Yeah,
fights and
yeah,
school suspensions and all of this stuff. And it's
yeah,
like, even in one case, handcuffs, right?
yeah. Of course.
And I'm like, okay, hi, you're
You're still
lucky
here.
to be right. Exactly. You're lucky to still be here because if it wasn't for you checking yourself, you would probably be locked up
Yeah.
or in the coffin.
Yeah.
One of the two was going to happen if you didn't straighten up. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm just going to have to, you know,
Yep.
find something. I couldn't even, I still couldn't even hold myself accountable. I didn't know what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
Of
what it
course.
was. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how am I going to do
There's
this?
a
How am I going to figure this out? Right.
Man, I love this story. I love this story. I love the stories of when people learn how to get to the other side of themselves. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did it's not a question. I just love stories about how do people return to being the person they were meant to be. Right. So everything you just described, that's part of my audience that I want to talk to in
Yes.
my book. Right. The title of
Yes.
the book, I think I said it earlier, is Wake Up
Yeah.
to Die Again. And the subtitle says exactly what you just said. Wake up to die again. Breaking who you became so you can
Yes.
be who you're meant to be.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. That's what you just said, right? And when you
Literally.
were going through these challenges in your life, you wouldn't describe it this way, then, but when you look back, I guarantee you would describe it this way. Every day I woke up, I was dying a little bit more because I was giving myself away to something that I thought long term, it wasn't going to catch me, that it really didn't have as much risk as everybody else is telling me. It's going to be okay. Only to find out that you gave enough of yourself away that one day you woke up and you're staring in that mirror, looking at a stranger, waving. You were a stranger in your own freaking reflection.
Correct. Correct. 10 years ago, we could talk 10, 15 years ago. The way that I was, and I'd have met you, I'd be like, man, I ain't trying to hear none of this. I'm good, dog. I'm just would have
Yep.
pushed it the other
Yeah.
way.
You need to
Literally, man. I
kick
would have
rocks and
pushed
keep walking, Scott.
exactly. Yeah, just keep it trucking, man. Like I ain't trying to hear this, man. Like because I
Yep.
felt like I was too good for everything, man. It just felt
You had
like,
it figured out, Darrell.
yeah, I thought I had it all figured out, and
No,
I
I got
sit
it. You were
here.
the man. I was the man.
There you go. And that was the hardest part about reality, man. It really humbled me to like tears, like
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
crying. Like, when am I gonna figure this out? And trust me, if we're talking today, I still don't have it 100% figured out.
No.
Like
Well, and you're
I
not
am
supposed to.
no, you're not supposed to. And to me, that is like, okay, improving yourself every day, making yourself better every day is the accomplishment. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in a good way. If you improve yourself every day, then you're doing at least what the other 1% is doing
Yeah.
or isn't
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And you uplift yourself and
Yep.
that's where you stand. So if
Yeah.
you're not going to be part of that 1%, then you're never going to, you know, stand the way you are. That's the hardest part
Yeah.
right there. That's the
Yeah, it
hardest
is. Let
part.
me ask you this question. I'm curious. I think
Yeah.
I know the answer, but I want to ask.
Sure.
As a part of that long-term transition to be where you are today,
Mm-hmm.
how early in the process did you either learn that you needed to forgive your old self, right? Or did you not learn it? You just decided, man, I've got to forgive myself for the past because I can't carry that with me. Like where did that happen in the process for you?
Okay. I'm 38 now. All right.
Okay.
This started literally when I was in 30 years old. Literally.
Okay.
Started right
Okay.
in my 30s. Because in my 20s, I was,
Yeah.
man, talk
So
to me
30s
like,
was the pivot.
yes, that was the
Okay.
breaking point. That's where, I started to realize some things. That's where I actually started to see, like, okay, some things start to make sense, some don't. So Fast forwarding to, I want to say maybe when I was, I think it was, when did that happen? I think it was 30. Oh, I don't want to get the age wrong. I think it was 34. I think it was
Okay.
34. I think I was 34. Uh I was in my apartment and I had gotten into an argument with my old girlfriend, all right,
Mm,
at the time. And at that time, I was really like changing my temperamental ways. I wasn't getting any help for it, but I was actually like, okay, if I just start somewhere, if I, take a step back, take a deep breath, and just, try to, resonate and connect, I should be okay.
yeah.
But she said something I didn't like.
Mm,
I went ballistic. Everything broke. Everything broke. Okay. I literally just snapped. And I don't remember what it was, but I just snapped verbally. And after I did that, I felt a relief, but it wasn't the
okay.
relief. It wasn't the relief that I was supposed to have felt. I
Okay.
had felt at that point that I was literally, you know, getting somewhere. Like, okay, I spoke up on something, and that's going to be how I roll, moving forward. No more than about a year later, she ended up dumping me, right? She ended up moving out
Yeah.
and things like that. And I
Yeah.
said, what did I do? What did I do? And then living here, I think I moved in here 2018 or 2019, one of the two. I can't remember what year. It's just
Sure.
all my fault. And I was in bed. Okay. I was in bed and I was scrolling on my phone and I was looking through. I don't know why this happened. I don't know if this if this was a sign, but I literally scrolled through our old messages. And I looked at these messages. I said, boy, I was a jerk. I was the biggest ignorant jerk I have ever known. Who is this dude?
You would have fired yourself too, right?
Dude, I would have did it more to fire me. I'd have banned myself if I had to. It was bad. I looked at this. I was insulting. I was just
Mm,
talking crazy. I said, nah, nah. So I was like, okay, that's when because I had just deactivated Facebook at the time. I had just
okay.
deactivated Facebook and she was on Facebook, still is on Facebook. And I was like, the only way I can forgive myself is to hold myself accountable. So,
Man,
what a man
magic
would do,
words.
yes, what a man would do, I actually recreated a Facebook account. I didn't want to, but I did. And I went and looked her up and I messaged her and we had a back and forth. And I started reminiscing on the good things that she supported me through, which
Yeah.
I never even, you
Acknowledged
know,
before.
acknowledged
Yeah.
before. Correct. I
Yeah.
did not acknowledge it. And I still got the screenshots. I literally, because she had bought me, I think in 2013, she had bought me a Canon camera. I forgot
Okay.
what I forgot what kind it was. It's somewhere around here. But I still have it to this day. I still
Yeah.
have that camera. And when she bought it for me, it was brand new. And
Yeah.
I was happy. I was still thanking her. I was grateful for it. But that's all it came to. So when I messaged her and we was reminiscing, I told her, yeah, I still got that camera because I was, wanting to be a photographer. Still is. I took classes in high school. And, I was taking photos and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, still got I still got that camera. She's like, you still got that camera? Yeah, I got that camera. Like, I didn't realize how much support that you was giving me because I was so gone
Caught up in
up here.
yourself.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was gone. It felt like a ghost. And I cannot sit here and tell you how much I really appreciate that. And I know that you've moved forward. I know that you're, you know, happy elsewhere, but me genuinely, thank you. I still appreciate you. You supported me through all the journeys that I wanted to do, and you tolerated my BS for 7 years. And I sure appreciate it. And I am so sorry that I
Yeah.
put you through hell. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry for that. She was like, yeah,
That's a
life
beautiful
was
story.
on.
That's a
Yeah,
beautiful story because that's
yeah.
forgiveness. That's not only forgiveness for yourself, right?
Mhm.
But she
Yeah.
reciprocated that and forgave
Yes.
you.
Yes. And that's all I needed it at that point. After that, that's when like everything changed. That's when I knew like, okay, accountability. And this is
Yeah.
what I talk about on my podcast a lot. I always talk about accountability
Yep.
because if we cannot hold ourselves accountable for the behaviors that is being sent to us or how we're treating people, regardless, we're a lost cause. And I was.
Lost cause.
Yeah. And I was a lost cause. And that's when I had to realize like those text messages, those text messages really caught me in a situation that, man, I didn't realize how much of a jerk I was. I
Yeah.
was bad,
But see, this is
really bad.
critically, I hope people realize the significance of what you're saying, right? Because
Yes.
in your story, in that very story, here's what you're saying, and I think you know you're saying this, but you're saying
Yeah.
your past will catch up to you eventually.
And it did. It did.
Yeah. And the beautiful
Oddly,
thing
on how
though,
it did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say was the beautiful thing about it catching you is you made the right decision to turn your life on the right path and to
Mm-hmm.
reconcile that. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, there are listeners. Right now,
Yeah.
their past has caught them. It's the echo in their brain, and they're running from it. There's not going to be a reconciliation. They're going to keep running. And what's sad about it is you can't outrun yourself.
No, no. Because the minute people hear the word accountability, they're either going to pause this podcast right now, hit back, and listen to something else.
Yep.
That's how that
But
works.
Darrell and Scott would say, take a deep breath. Just listen to the whole podcast. We've been there, done
Mm-hmm.
that. We were
Hear
right
us
there
out.
where you were. Get your finger
Yeah.
off the trigger.
That's it. Just relax. Like we're we're in a space that, you know, important conversations like this is really, you know, it really hits. It may not hit to a lot of people, but it hits me because, you've
Well,
been
it
in
hits me because
and
of the
I've been
word we
in.
talked about in the beginning is authenticity, right?
Yes.
I don't care if it's men speaking to men, women speaking to men, men speaking to whatever it is. Speak
Mm-hmm.
to each other with authenticity. Be a little
Yes.
vulnerable. Tell people the truth. Be kind. Be
Yeah.
gracious. Be forgiving, right? You're going to
Mm-hmm.
be the better person for it. Doesn't matter what they say. I've heard this 1,000 times, right? Nobody ever remembers what you gave them. They only remember how you made them feel. And
Exactly.
that moment when you told her what you told her, you changed forever how she felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because and I'm gonna tell you something else that really helped in the process. Now I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Well,
I have
congratulations.
like, thank you. And she just literally just graduated from preschool.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. My wife's a
literally,
kindergarten teacher.
oh, man, like that's the amazing feeling that as
Mm,
a dad, right? As a dad, you really embrace what you bring it to the world. You really
Right.
embrace it. And watching my daughter today as she got her little
Was-
certificate and
Yeah.
singing songs, saying goodbye and stuff like that. Hearing all that, man, I got tears in
Oh,
my eyes, man. That made me emotional because I never thought in a million years that I would have either a little boy or a little girl, which came out to be a little girl,
yep.
that, I would be watching to, grow up. I'd have never
Yep.
imagined. And
Yep.
it's the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah.
It's
When my
amazing.
daughter was born, my son's 25, my daughter's 23, so older,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a picture, speaking of daughters, right after she was born. I'm talking about within the first 60 seconds of her being born, when they carried her over to the warmer and the nurse walked away. I put my hand, her little tiny, tiny, tiny hand in my palm, and you could see my wedding ring. And I pulled my phone out and I took a picture of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I still have that, I can still see that picture in my head of the first time I met her, right? And all the way up to now, when she's 23 and she's getting married this weekend. Okay, so this is what you
Well,
have to look forward to, Dad.
congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But what's so cool about that time frame of 23 years and what you've already done is that dads have a very special relationship with daughters,
Yes.
right? And I love hearing dad and daughter stories. And one of the things I want to recommend to you don't wait too long for this,
Sure.
but find when she gets a little older, find
Mhm.
the opportunity to go to a daddy daughter dance and make sure that you put your nice suit on and she puts a nice dress on and you take her to the daddy daughter dance. Because even at 23, my daughter still talks about those date nights that we went on.
Man. And I'm gonna tell you something. You said that. I had a moment, right? Before my daughter was born. I was
Okay.
currently with um my daughter's mom, which I'm not with anymore. And it was funny you said that because I had took her daughter to a daddy daughter dance. I haven't done that with my
Okay.
daughter yet. I haven't done it
Okay.
with my
Well,
daughter
yeah.
yet. That could
Okay.
that chance is coming. But I
Yeah.
haven't done it with my own, but I did
Yeah.
do it with her, and I
Okay.
still got the
You know.
picture.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know.
dude, because that right there, even though I wasn't an official dad, I wasn't a biological dad, but still that was literally before COVID though. Literally, it was like probably a couple of months before COVID.
Yeah.
And just actually being there, she asked me if we could go to the daughter because she don't have a dad. So she
Yeah.
asked me. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to go. And
Yep.
had a ball. They was playing Earth, Wind, and Fire. They was playing all kinds of good music. And oh, it was
Oh,
amazing.
dude.
It was a good
All right.
time. Like,
I know. I got to tell you one more dad golden nugget. I got
go
to tell you,
for it. Go for it.
every dad listening right now, every dad listening, get your pencil, pen, grab something right now. This is important.
Absolutely.
This
Absolutely.
is about to change your daughter's life. Okay. I'm going to tell you through a story.
Mm-hmm.
But when my daughter was born,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember, my wife probably remembers. I don't remember how young she was. I don't know if she was 9 months old or 2 years old. I don't remember. But I was always playing with my son. And it was because she was so young. It wasn't like I could do anything but feed her and rock her, and you know what I mean. And of course, one day my wife said something along the lines of, "You love him more than you do her."
Uh-oh.
I said, "No, I don't. Where'd that come from?" Well, you're always playing with him. And, it was one of those. I don't even remember the conversation, but it was something along those lines. And man, that tore me up, dude, because that was not true. So I began to scour the world of how could I prove that I love my daughter just as much as my son. And I
Mm-hmm.
came up with the idea. I found it. I don't remember how I found it, but it's still in existence. It's a
Sure.
website and it's called starregistry.com. And I went and paid the money and I had a star named after my daughter in the heavens above. And they send you this beautiful chart of this star in the sky. They show you where you can find it in the sky, and they send you the star map, and they literally name the star after your daughter. And I ordered it, and they sent the pictures and all the little stuff. I still have it. Matter of fact, it's right over in the corner over there because I'm getting ready to take it to her wedding. Um, and so I broke that out and showed my wife. This is why I'm proving to you, right, that I love my daughter as much as my son, right? It was checkmate, game, set, match, dad wins. And for 23 years, every year, my daughter, well, she'll tell people about, yeah, my dad named a star after me. Look it up,
That is
man.
amazing.
Yep, look it
Oh,
up,
you
dude.
bet
Have a
that is
star. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Have a star
Ah,
named after your son or daughter. Yep. They'll tell people for the rest of their life. My daddy had a star named after me. Yep.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
It's not expensive either. Yeah.
Wow. That is
Anyway,
deep.
that's a golden nugget, man.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Dad to
doubt.
dad. There you go.
Yeah. So we got into all of this deep stuff, and that was the most important conversation that, I pretty much had in this podcast, like, since I've
That's
started the
awesome, man.
year. It
That's an
has.
honor, man. Thanks, Darrell.
It is because I had a previous guy. He was actually my first guest of the year, and his name is Tim Thomas. We had conversations, right? We had conversations, and it was deep. But this right here, not taking anything away from him, this conversation right here, man, like, it's a connection, it's relatable,
Yeah,
it's understandable, and it's like within a moment, and
yeah.
it's wonderful. I love every minute of this because of how, you know we can both come to an understanding about, where we stood at.
The important things
What's
in life.
important? Yes, very important. And
Yeah.
how failure, we rebuild. If we fail again, we got the knowledge to rebuild ourselves back up.
Get back
It
up.
shouldn't be as hard, but it's going to be hard
It is.
because
Just
the
own it.
mindset, yeah, because the mindset is always going to change as you get
Mhm.
older. It's going to change, and the more that you fail, and that's why I was so interested in how you was able to, you know, get into a business, fail, get into a business, fail, and you keep,
Oh yeah.
rebuilding yourself. It was
Yep.
interesting. I was like, I I did that, man. I'd have probably had myself committed. Like, how can I do this? Like that would have been the hardest thing to do. Like,
Yeah.
and I look at this podcast and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much doing that. I'm
Yeah.
consistent,
Yeah.
and like that's the key. And that's the key most people don't really understand is if you're going to do something, you got to be consistent, right? You
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
consistent
Yeah.
because motivation is temporary.
Absolutely, man.
You can't boost yourself from motivation because all of that will eventually fade away. So if you're
Yep.
going to do it, consistency and discipline is the most important tools. If you're going to do something, that's the most important thing. And that
10,000%.
And that's
Yeah.
how I started to roll with this because, like I said, I wasn't even interested in continuing this anymore after that.
Yeah.
And then when Tim Thomas came on and he sent me that email, and I didn't even see it. I've, talked about this one too many times. I didn't see it. And I was like, let me look at the spam real quick, see what's going on. I looked in the spam and there was his email right there. I said, dang, I think it's too late. I said, nah,
Oh
it
man.
ain't never too late. Let me go on and hit him back and see what happens. And I did, and he made some jokes slash jabs about me ghosting. Where it goes to my email, went into spam, and so he threw some jabs at me, ghosted it, and ever since then, I just been like consistent. So that's where I
Yeah.
learned, you know, Like if you're going to fail at something, you can always rebuild it. You just have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined with it. And that's why I learned that. And so many changes has been made since I've, removed toxicity in my
Yep.
life. It has
Yep.
changed so much. Otherwise, this wouldn't even be happening. I'll probably be still, you know, argue with women and trying to do this and do that. And I'm like, no,
Nope.
no,
Living a lie.
uh,
Here,
that's
here's a
it.
question for you. I'm curious. This is a
Absolutely.
curiosity question. Curiosity one.
Go for it.
So
Go
so
for it.
you looked at the website. You had an absolutely proper assessment of
Okay.
everything about you know uh, businesses failing and all that stuff, right? And so you
Yeah,
were like, man, how does this guy do it? That's exactly what you said,
yeah,
right? So now my question
absolutely.
to you is, we've been on a podcast. We've been talking about just a variety of different stuff.
Yeah.
Do you now listen to this voice and look at this face and go, okay, I think I get it now. I don't understand everything, but I see why this guy got back up.
Yep. I sure do. And now that's going to push me even further. It's going to be like,
Yep.
okay, I've had you on. Now I'm going to actually sit down and listen to you some more. Rather,
Yep.
if it's in the past, if you've done previous podcasts, I've seen on the
Yeah.
website that you post, podcasts that you've been on,
Yep.
like listening to that.
Well,
I'm going
let
to
me give you the
be,
secret decoder ring.
yeah.
I'm gonna give you the secret decoder ring.
Okay.
Is if you're willing to do it, go to
Yeah.
Amazon.com, right? And pick up my book, Wake Up to Die Again.
Mm-hmm.
Because chapter one,
Mm-hmm.
I've already read the preface to you,
Yes, you did.
right?
Yeah.
Chapter one is the title of chapter one is You're Not Where You're Supposed to Be. Okay. That is
Mm-hmm.
the shallowest water you're going to be in that book.
Okay.
Because every chapter after chapter one, the water gets deeper and deeper
Mm-hmm.
and deeper. And
Yeah.
I haven't even told you about some of the lightning strikes. I just gave you some turkey. I didn't give you the
Yeah. Some of the
dressing and
small
everything
ones.
else.
Absolutely.
So so the reason I'm telling you this is not because I want to sell another book. I don't care about that. What I care about is I really, really appreciate that we've met each other and we're kindred spirits. Is
Yes.
that for you? I would love for you to read it and we have another podcast together and talk about the book because talk about the stories that are in the book.
Yeah. Because I was like, hey, man, even though that, we talked about a lot of things, we still got to have a part two. Like, for
Yeah,
sure.
I really mean that.
No, I do too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we got to have a part two because
yep,
it's, it's important because you talked about like when you say your book, like you talk about your book, like you don't care about the money. You just the whole important thing that me and you want to do is just bring awareness. That's it. We just want to bring awareness.
yeah.
And if we don't bring up awareness, we ain't gonna get nowhere. So you, you know, wanting to, get these books out. You just want to send a message. You just want to
Yeah.
bring
I,
awareness to a lot of things that most
because
people
I
don't want to
know
talk about.
this. Here's what I know. I know
Yes.
because I had beta readers read. I know that the second some of these people that read this book, I know we're going to be having a conversation. And how do we start this podcast? There's too much talking going on. We need to have a conversation.
There you go. We talked about that.
So the book, in my opinion, the book is the bridge between me and other people so we can have a conversation. It ain't
Yes.
selling the books. It's the
No.
bridge to having another conversation.
Yes. Yes. And the worth of everything that you've done has really been paying off. Like it's worth it.
Oh,
Like you have literally spoken like
yeah.
almost dang near everywhere, where
Yeah.
you you like everywhere, man. It's like, don't you even get a break? Like,
You're not going to
because
believe this, but when you love having a conversation with people about again about real things like what we're doing right now, I could do this all day, every day, Darrell.
you hear me? Yes. Yes. Like I would too, man. Like this is why I'm doing this because I love listening to people. Like that's been, I felt like it's been my calling because I never really knew
Yeah.
like which direction I wanted to be in. What was my actual calling? How can I be able to hear people, listen to people,
Yep.
and be able to give it back in some way?
Yep.
I never could figure that out. I couldn't. And for the life of me, I was like, okay, 2021. Ooh, let me start up this podcast. Let me see if, because I had so much bottled up, like so much personal things that, I wanted to get out. But
Yeah.
then when I started it, I didn't even do it. I was literally like starting off listening to, not listening, but actually reading different things that was going on in the world and
Yep.
domestic violence and
Oh,
mentally and stuff like that. That's what I was doing, like for literally like the first 3 years. Then I was like, you know what, this ain't working because I'm not getting anywhere with it. And then in 2023, I just dropped it and I was like, I need to reset. And I started doing other things. And when I realized that wasn't doing anything, I said, okay, I need to revert back to this podcast because I know that this is it. I just need to figure out what to do. And I sat there and I thought about the relationship problems. I thought about the trauma. I thought about um,
the
fatherhood.
lies, the betrayal, everything.
Yes, yes, all of that. I got to think about all of that, and I was like, my story it is. I wasn't
Yeah.
comfortable at first. Okay.
I mean,
I
how
was
could you
not
be?
comfortable. No, I was not comfortable talking about my story, telling my story
Yeah.
on how I was suffering mentally
Yeah.
because what do a lot of men say? They're suppressed to talk
Yeah.
about it. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, this has to change. I got to
Yeah.
speak on something. Right. And that's where it
Well,
led to.
there's no better the topic than you using your past as a
Yes.
testimony to other
Yes.
people. And I want to say this to you before I lose this train of thought.
Okay.
In my in the latter, well, I say this several times in my book, but I explain it later in the book.
Okay.
I especially say this when I talk about writing my book, right? Which is answering the question, Scott, what are you willing to sacrifice? And
Ooh.
when I learned that in order to write the best book I could possibly write, I could not write the book and come out the hero. I had to sacrifice myself.
Yes.
And that's everything you have just said to me is ringing in my ear of me
Mm-hmm.
talking to myself. This is
Mm-hmm.
Darrell saying, I didn't really hit my stride until I was willing to sacrifice myself on the podcast and just tell people who I was. And I just really want to enforce this with you, man to man.
Mm-hmm.
This
Sure.
is critical that you stay the course of sacrificing yourself for this reason. There was a time in your life where you sacrificed a little bit of yourself. You gave a little bit of yourself away only to end up empty.
Yeah.
What you're doing now, you're sacrificing the parts of you that no longer served you in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so in that case, Darrell, the more you continue to move forward this podcast, sacrificing yourself, the
Mm-hmm.
more of yourself you're going to find. That, sir, is going to change people's lives the more you keep doing it.
And this is why when people come on, I learn more and more every
Yeah.
time somebody comes on. Every time somebody comes on and they share their story, I just learn. Like I've
Yeah.
learned people that, you've been in the army, right? That's what
Yeah.
I understand that. You've been in the army, previous people been in the army, they suffer from PTSD. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
they have suffered um trauma. They've suffered
Yeah.
everything. I've
Yeah.
I've seen that, and I'm understanding where mostly everybody is coming from. I understand that these stories that people are telling me is literally going in that right direction to actually share something, rather if it was from me individually, rather it's from you, or rather it's from them. Like, we are not alone, for one. Two, we're in this together. We're in this
Amen, man.
together because I know we can we can sit here and we could be talking about this for days. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We could talk about this for days because I literally love the impact that this
Yep.
is doing to other
Yep.
people, especially
Yep.
you, because you have a wider broad of, you know, interesting resumes that actually you going out and speaking to people,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
or you going on podcasts to talk to people. You know,
Yep.
you have really, how can I put this? You literally stapled what I can actually feel. Like
Okay.
the
That's awesome.
pain. Yes, the pain, right? The
Yeah.
pain was, intense, you
Dripping
know.
wet.
Yes, like relief at the same time because I
Yeah.
needed to hear this. Like, I needed to hear like everything that I can relate to, everything
Yeah.
that I can connect to.
Yeah.
And that's important. Like,
It is, man. What a great conversation that we could sit here and do this time. I didn't know, neither one of us knew where we were going to go. We started this conversation out saying, all right, let's roll. Let's see where we go.
yeah,
How
we
cool is
just
that?
said, yeah, we just started talking. It was like I had series of questions that
Of
I was
course.
literally going to ask you, like about, you know, like we already talked about your book. I was going to, I wanted to talk about a lot of other
Yeah.
things, but then we got bigger, right? We got way bigger and way seriously, like serious within a matter of 2 minutes.
Yes,
And I
sir.
love it. Like, because I
Yeah.
am like, when I talk about it, I'm more free flow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just have little things to, back me up, like if, something went south. But I'm free
Yeah.
flow. Like, I always like to just have a conversation with people. I don't even have to ask questions. I just really just like having genuine conversations. And it depends on how, you know, everything starts off. And the way me and you started off, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need this right now. We could just kind of, so I put that to the side, and we can just literally just talk about,
Yeah.
you know, all of these
Yeah.
things. Like all the things that you went through. Like, it was so much stress with you. It's so much recovery with you.
Sure.
It's so much
But isn't
everything.
that something we should join? Like, again, whether I did 48.7% and somebody else did 92.3%, at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't, I know you don't either, but I don't care about the measurement. What I
Mhm.
care about is the distance. And what I
Yes.
mean by that is that I like, as I do really appreciate both of us we shared distance today, not just the time together, but we walked through a lot of dates. We walked through a lot of time. We covered distance together. Okay.
Hmm.
And when you cover distance together, we may never say this out loud, but to
Hmm.
everybody listening right now, man, if those two knuckleheads can cover that distance, surely I can. Okay.
You know, it's not like we're really asking for much, right?
No.
We're just two men. We're having a conversation. We're,
Yeah,
discussing things that are near dearly important to us. That's all we're doing. And if more people actually had a good time to talk about, things like this, it could be fun. Like,
yeah,
that's what most people also don't realize. Like, having these conversations can be actually fun. Put a little humor
thousand
to it.
percent.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got one for you. Why don't you tell people, why don't you turn your phone upside down and start talking to the person next to you and say, hey man, how'd you get here today? Just start talking to people again.
You see, you make me want to grab my phone, but you make me
You
want to
felt
grab my
that
phone.
pull, didn't you? You felt that
I did.
pull.
I'm literally touching distance of my phone, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna turn it upside down and see what kind of looks I
Yeah.
get. I'm see.
I got another challenge. Don't turn it upside down.
Sure.
Put it in your pocket so nobody sees it. I do this.
Yeah.
Listen, what I'm telling you about right now, I practice. I travel a lot,
Yeah.
and I practice this in airports,
Hmm.
right? And I won't. There, I'll tell you what. I think I told you I'm also a columnist in the newspaper. My stories are published every Saturday. Those
Yeah.
stories, every one of them are on my website under the published media. And I hope you'll
Yeah.
look this story up. There's a story on there. It's this, the title of the story is When Did We Stop Noticing Each Other? And it's a story about what we're talking about right now,
Hmm.
where a gentleman who was visually impaired was running into the stanchion in the TSA security line. And people were mumbling under their breath about why didn't he get in another line? And it pissed me off. And I walked
Yeah.
through the line, banging into them, saying, "Excuse me." And this gentleman turned his head, had his sunglasses on. He turned his head, and I could just tell by his facial expression, everything he was listening to, he was envisioning what was going on behind him. What was that noise? And he might have even heard what they said. But I got to him and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "my name's Scott. And I thought we would go through security together. You okay with that?" And he extended his hand for me to find because of his visual impairment. He said, "Scott, my name's Mark, and I would appreciate that." And me and that blind man I'd never met before, named Mark, we navigated security together with his hand on my shoulder. And we got through security in Atlanta airport. I walked him to his gate, and all we ever talked about was our love of flying, our families, right? Where we traveled, why we like to travel. It's all we talked about. It was a wonderful, ready for this, Darrell? It was a wonderful conversation. Okay. Now, I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story, but there is a powerful ending to that story. But
Yeah.
if you go on my website and click on media, published media, that particular story is called "When Did We Stop Noticing Each Other?" So check that
Yeah.
out, man. I think you'll love that story, dude.
Yeah. How did you like not giving away? How did you feel in that moment? Like, did did you feel like that it was something that was tapping you on the shoulder and was like, "Hey,
No, honestly, I got mad. I got mad because I heard the person in front of me he said, "Why doesn't he get in another line?" That really, really pissed me off. How dare you say that? Okay. Why don't you freaking help him? Okay.
right,
Why didn't you
right,
say that? Why didn't you say, "Let's help him"? Why did you say, "Get in the other line"? That just still pisses me off to think about it. Okay. And that's why the title, it's because of that single moment. I made the title of the article, "When Did We Stop Noticing Each Other?"
yeah."
And
These are
so
true
no, I
stories,
was
right?
actually, oh, it's 100% true story. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
There's no surprise here. No, this is a
yeah,
10,000% true story. It was, yeah,
absolutely.
published it as one of my articles on Saturday a few months ago, a couple months ago. But no, this happened a couple of years ago. Um, but no, so that it started out in anger at what was
Hmm.
being said,
Hmm.
and then as I was helping them, I forgot about being angry. I was I was more emotionally affected by his visual impairment and the conversation we had and how he loved life,
Yeah,
you know? And one of the things I want, this is not going to spoil the story, but one of the
sure.
things that I say near the end of the story is Mark never saw me. Mark saw
Um,
things the right way.
absolutely,
So, but that
absolutely.
doesn't ruin the story. It's, you know what I mean? But these are the top, man, Darrell, you're on podcast talking about this. I'm, you know, uh, getting on more and more podcasts because I want to talk about these things in my book and encourage people to have that conversation.
Yeah,
But my form of a podcast right, is these articles that I write that are on my
Yeah.
website where I discuss stuff like this through
Yes.
storytelling.
And yeah, yeah, we ain't gonna need to talk about that because I gotta get to reading some of these because like how you literally talked about all of that, how deep that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs more recognition. We got to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. When do we stop now? So listen, hey man, I don't know, it's 500 words or something. It's not a long story. You know what I mean? So
Sure,
when
sure,
we jump off here, we got email addresses with each other, but I would love it if
absolutely.
you would check that out, man. And let's figure out a way to get you a book. You know what I mean? Because this conversation we had 10 out of 12 out
Yeah.
of 10. We need to do this again for the benefit of other people as well.
Oh yeah, part two is coming. Part two is coming for sure because we need this part two. This is important. But before we leave, I do got to ask you this question, and I want
Yes,
to
sir.
ask you based off of your experience and your knowledge and wisdom. What does rebuilding yourself actually require mentally?
Mhm. Yeah. So this may be disappointing for your listeners
Sure.
because I actually felt like many times that I was rebuilding myself. So I actually say something different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is just me. I don't want anybody if people believe differently, this is just me.
Yeah.
I don't rebuild myself anymore because that person died. It's not about rebuilding.
Yes.
So you're never going to hear me say that I rebuilt something because it didn't work. That
Mm-mm.
version of myself, that business, whatever you want to call it, didn't work. Therefore, I am not rebuilding it. So what am I
Mm-hmm.
doing then? I'm building something new.
Yeah.
So what it looks like to build someone new. I'm gonna give you some quick ready, fire, aim comments.
Go for it.
It's looking it's looking at yourself in the mirror and waving at yourself again. I want to use the Darrell phrase and saying hello again. Okay. And telling yourself the truth about what
Yeah.
you need to forgive about yourself. That's one of the starting places. Here's another starting place. That voice in your head that's telling
Mm-hmm.
you all those things that you are or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of them might be true because you've
Yeah.
been lying to yourself for a long freaking time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you've been lying to yourself for a long time, and some of you have been lying to yourself so freaking long, you think it's the truth now. Okay. If
Yeah.
you've been lying to yourself for a long time, acknowledge what the lie is and admit to yourself that you're willing to fix all of those broken promises in your life. Not all of them at one time. Okay. But a lie to yourself means you're breaking promises. So that's the third thing is
Yeah.
identify the broken promises in your life and
Mm-hmm.
start with small things. Start with small things to rebuild trust with yourself. What does rebuilding trust look like? It could be something as simple as I'm sick of sleeping in every day and wasting my life away. I'm going to start getting up. This is one thing I'm going to do every day for 7 days. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the crap I'm going to do after that. Clean the house, something. Watch the sunrise. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock every day. That's what I'm talking about. Start small. Why do
Mm-hmm.
you start small? It's because you've been lying
Yeah.
to yourself for so long. You don't trust yourself anymore.
Right.
So start with things that are small, do them repetitively. This is what Darrell said, be
Mm-hmm.
consistent, have some
Absolutely.
discipline, some basic discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Do those things, those small things to repair the trust that you can believe in yourself again. And if you will start down this path, this is what I say in my book. If you will walk the way will appear, but you
Yes.
have to walk the way for the way to appear. Rebuild your trust with yourself, forgive yourself, give yourself some grace. You got to live with yourself for a long time.
Yes.
So that's my answer to you. I've got more, but just
Sure.
in the shot, I'm not going to just we got podcast two number coming up, but but anyway, those are just three things. Those are three things that listeners can grab a hold of. Okay, these are the basic things. Now, I guess I should say, but Scott, I'm not there, man. My name's Darrell. I'm on the other side of that. What can I do? Well, I'm going to tell you what that answer is. If you've forgiven yourself and right, and you've done all the hard work, if you're Darrell and Scott, here's my challenge for you.
Mhm.
Whatever you're doing right now, okay, whatever you're reaching for, I'm going to guess it probably isn't far enough. Okay.
Correct.
Reaching to do things that you've already done that you kind of know you can do. You're not stretching yourself. You're just affirming what you already are. So I'm not telling you have to do an Ironman. Okay. But that's what I did. I needed to do an Ironman. That was a broken promise for me. And I needed to do something that was beyond what I wasn't 100% sure I could do. And so that's why I picked a 140.6 mile race where you swim and you bike and you run all in one day. And it took me 11 months ish to get ready for it. And that changed me as a human being forevermore. So for men and women listening that are on the other side of themselves, I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm not telling you to do something stupid. I'm telling you to find something in your life. Maybe it's volunteering for something. Find
Yeah.
something in your life that stretches you as a human being and makes you nervous, makes your stomach turn. And then you're going to start growing again. You're going to be that blooming flower that the world needs.
11 months. That tells you
Yes,
everything.
sir.
That's 11 months of discipline. That's 11 months of training. That's 11 months of, just staying consistent. That's hard.
How about this
11
one? How about this
months?
one? How about this one? You can have a baby in 9 months.
Yeah, absolutely. That both like literally hard and just really staying true to yourself. Like that's really telling you about who you really are. That's what it's telling you. Like if you can stay consistent about something, that tells you something about yourself that you probably never even realized. And you
No, no, no.
and
It
you knew
changed
a
me as a
lot.
human being. Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
changed me as a human being. It
yeah,
literally
of course.
changed me as a human being.
Of course it did. Sure, 11 months? Dude. Yeah, man, I
Hey,
can
listen, Darrell, you and I keep talking. I might have you doing a triathlon with me, my friend.
I gotta get myself right, man. Like I gotta get the training too. I gotta do all that. See, that's the thing. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I need to actually get back into that physical restraints of,
You need
running and
lean muscle mass. That's what you need.
yes, yes. And I've been working on that too. So being consistent, like literally like what you've been doing as a iron athlete, like I've been like being at my job, I have to be up
Yeah.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And
Wow.
that's the start of discipline, right?
Yes,
That's for
sir.
me, that's literally the start of discipline.
In the
And
darkness.
yes, in the darkness. And that's literally me going into work, working, leaving about 8, 8:30 in the morning, and then coming home. And then I got to get the strengths in. And all I do is max 200
Yeah.
push-ups. 200.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
easy. Hard,
No.
hard. And it gets harder and harder. I literally just started doing push-ups again maybe about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it gets harder and harder and harder. It don't get easy, but it's paying off because my job, you know all about FedEx. You hear about them. That's where I work. That's some physical stuff.
It
That's
is.
like that's like doing army workouts, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it is, man.
It's
That my
crazy.
one of my favorite all-time commercials that has ever been produced in the world was a
Mm-hmm.
FedEx commercial and their tagline. And they don't do it anymore, but they used to say all the time, when it absolutely has to be there tomorrow. FedEx.
Yes, yes. I remember the commercials too. They're old too.
Yep.
I remember them. Oh, I definitely remember them. Like, yeah,
Yep.
that was big, and that's how my day really starts. That's how it
Yeah.
starts. So you 11 moms, I can't get past that. I just can't. I can't get
Yeah.
past it.
Well, don't worry about it. It ain't. I can tell you, and I mean this. It ain't worth bragging about because It's you look back at what we started this podcast with, you talking about how many years of your life, not 11 months, how many years of your life that you
True
were
that.
going the wrong freaking way and digging a hole.
True
So
that.
you've done your Ironman, but in a different way, is that you had
Yeah.
to fill that hole back up, and then you had to start elevating yourself. So that's a whole different type of Ironman right there. So pat yourself on the back.
Yep. No doubt, man. No doubt, man. No doubt.
Have
That's
you ever
that's
seen
a
that video? I got to tell you this. Have you ever seen that video?
sure.
I love this video where they ask Snoop about who he gives thanks to for all his success and all this and that. And he goes, I thank
I
me.
like to thank me. And he was telling the truth.
He
Like
was, man.
you could put all the humor in that you want to. He was telling
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I see that, I just go, that's right, Snoop. Tell him.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of people are using that. They are using
Yeah.
that. They're like literally saying yes. They're usually using him as a
Yeah.
voiceover for something, rather if they're putting something out on social media, or rather if they're talking or whatever they're doing. They are
Yeah.
using that as
Yeah.
their things. Like, and he's absolutely right, because
I
you're
know.
the one that's putting in the work. You're the one that's being
Yep.
consistent. You're the
Yep.
one that's being disciplined.
Yep.
You're the one that's
Yep.
getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and starting off your
Yep.
day doing this and doing that.
Yep.
All that work that you're doing, you're thanking yourself. You are the
Yes,
one doing
sir.
it. Ain't nobody else doing that for you. You doing that.
Yep. Yeah, keep doing that. And when you and
Yes.
then when you look at the mirror, you don't have to wave at yourself
Nope.
anymore because you know yourself, and then you can point at yourself and say, I want to thank you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's getting there. It's getting
That's
there.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. It's lovely. It's lovely. Man,
Now,
I
now
enjoy
don't
talking with
forget
you.
when we jump off here, don't
Yeah.
forget, go read that article.
Oh, I
Scott
will.
Lackey.
For sure.
Yeah, scottlackey.com. Oh, you already have the website. Yeah,
I do.
it's
Yes, it's
the
on my phone.
it's yeah, it's the, oh, look at you. It's that by the way, that's a good reason to pick up your phone. No, it's the article. When did we stop noticing each
When
other?
did we stop noticing each other? Gotcha. Yep. I remember that. Because I still got it up because I was doing a little bit of reading, like when we was waiting on
Our
um
connection.
the, not the connection, no, earlier
Oh,
today I was
oh,
waiting
okay.
on when my daughter was graduating pre-K. I was
Oh, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sitting there
yeah.
waiting, and I was pulling up your sites, and I was actually
That's
looking at some
awesome.
stuff. I looked
That's
at
awesome.
the main thing I actually looked at was the about you. That's the one I
Okay.
was actually sitting down reading, and then I saw the media portion. I seen that you had put out the podcast,
Yeah.
having podcasts and stuff like that, and that was the furthest I got to, because it was time, and I was actually like,
Well,
yeah.
there's two things you'll have fun with. One is that article. Well, three things. One's the article, one's the book. But don't forget,
Mm-hmm.
remember, dad to dad. Go
Yeah.
look up that Starry website about naming the
Yes.
star for your daughter. Yeah.
Yes. That's gonna be who between
Save that for
between the
Christmas or birthday.
yeah, between that and the other, yeah, that's gonna be on the top of the list. That's gonna be on top of the list. I gotta do those. Those are the two I really gotta focus on. I gotta do that.
That, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I really appreciate your time, man. You had a blast. Had a
Well, feeling
blast.
is mutual, and that's why we're
Yeah.
going to do it again. These
We're
are
gonna do it
rare
again.
conversations, and we're going to do it
Yes.
again.
Yep. We're having a part two. But right now, I appreciate what was actually be able to bring to this
Yeah.
podcast. You could be able to bring, how your struggles really came to success. And I really
Yeah. Thank you,
appreciate that.
Darrell. Let's hope that there's somebody that listens to this and they didn't hit the stop button, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
maybe they'll let you know, or me, or both of us know that they're going to start moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. All the best.
All the best.